Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my monthly favorites and fails videos. So normally I try to have this as one of the first videos of the month, but the beginning of January got away with me, so we're doing it mid-January. And this is a bigger one. This is November and December because December was end of year videos, rankings, all of that kind of stuff. I didn't do one of these for November, so this is not the biggest one of these I've done, but it's definitely 2 months worth of favorites and fails. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Colin. I'm a non-binary Latinx scientist and lover of makeup with a definite soft spot for indie makeup and high-end makeup, which you will see both of here today. And I tend to take a pretty analytical approach to the content I make, be it reviewing a new product or just using things I know and love. And I have new videos every week, so I'd love to have you subscribe. I did film this makeup look. This video should be going up before this one probably. I bought the new About Face foundation, so I did try that for the first time today. I will have a full review of this once I've done some wear tests, but I did a first impression of that today. And then I got some stuff from Florasis. They have a new collection out. It'll already be live, available when this video goes up, I believe. But it's the Nomadic Glam collection, and it's themed around Mongolian culture and the nature of the Mongolian steppe. So I did use this eyeshadow palette today. I didn't use this glittery teal shade, but kind of wish I had because it looks really pretty. And then they sent me the powder, one of the powders from it, which is a blurring powder. I did use this today. It is very nice and blurring. I used it the other day as well. Really liking this so far, especially for the center of the face where it's a little brightening and a little oil controlling. There's a blush. It looks really pink in the pan, but it is a nice soft red and it is very pretty. And then this lipstick is, I think they call it a red as well. They refer to this, Milk Tea Brown is the color. Really like this. It's one of those kind of silicone-y, velvety matte formulas where it's not 100% transfer proof, but pretty transfer proof and really comfortable. I don't feel this at all. Really liking this. I think this is gonna be a go-to color for me for the winter. So normally I like to organize this in categories. So I've got some skincare, some fragrance, makeup, all of that. Most of this you've seen dedicated videos on, some of this not, but I've used a lot of this off camera because I did film a lot of content in December, and then I, wear makeup to work. So I'm gonna start with the fails. I typically do try to start with the fails and then we move on to the good stuff, or I do fails kind of meh and good. I really like pretty much everything here, but I do have a couple fails, which is not my favorite thing. I actually don't like having fails because in general, I'm buying the stuff with my own money and I want it to all work. So having a fail, even if it's in PR, is always disappointing, but I try to be 100% honest. So I do have two fails and they were both sent to me in PR. And they're two palettes from Alter Ego. So I did do a video where I tried this Mirage palette and then I used the Sakura one off camera, and I don't like these. I don't like drugstore makeup in general. I don't swear it off as a rule. If there's something that looks interesting, I will try it, especially if a friend who has similar taste to me likes it and thinks I would like it, I will try it. And so I think drugstore makeup and affordable makeup has a purpose. I think not everyone can afford to pay for high-end luxury makeup. Even if you can, you might not want to. If you're just learning and trying to figure out what you like, it's a good space for that, which is where I started and used a lot of it. And this definitely falls in that kind of category. So this is a dupe brand. I did do the video where I tried this. I think they have some products that aren't direct dupes, but generally they make eyeshadow palettes that are supposed to be an affordable version of an expensive palette. So this is a Huda palette and this is a Natasha Denona palette. Natasha Denona is one of my favorite brands, so I was really excited to see how this compares. And I don't like it. I do think it's important to have, I think that's a nice market to have a $20 version of a $60 palette. with the same kind of colors, but I think they're trying to dupe the formula as well, and I just don't think they're doing a very good job at it. So the Mirage palette is the one that I dislike the most. And what's interesting is my friend Kelly got a PR from them too, Keep Beauty Real. She's really enjoying the products, and I have other friends that like their products, but then like I've talked to Steven and Cam and some other people who have tried them, and they decluttered them because they didn't like the formulas. So, you know, what's worth it and what's good versus bad are all very subjective. I always like to remind you of that. And for me, I did not enjoy this. The mattes in this were nice. They were pretty pigmented. They blended nicely. I enjoyed the mattes, but the shimmers in this are bad, and I don't, and like that just makes me not want to use it. So I am decluttering this. It's already in my declutter pile from the end of last year. I added this to that. So I did like, you can see there's all of the sparkle down here, and it's because these are really dry, crumbly formulas. So like the eyeshadow that's on my lid is this copper, and it is a drier formula, kind of like Pat McGrath's older baked shades where they feel a little gritty and dry. I like that kind of formula. This feels like it doesn't have enough, this is like a more of a pressed shadow that doesn't have enough binder to it. So a couple of these, like Conquer and Odyssey, weren't crumbly, but they were like, I don't know, on par with the ColourPop shimmer, which I don't like that formula either. The mattes were better than ColourPop, especially for a $20 palette. And I liked that it had these two cream gel, like you could use them as a liner or an eye base. I used this one as an eye base. But Pyramid, Carrot, and Cleopatra are so crumbly. Like Cleopatra, you can see, is all over everything. I can't clean it very well. It got all over my face when I used it. It got all over here. It got all over my table. I did not like it. And the end look was fine, but if I don't enjoy the process, then it's not a no for me. And I tried this a couple other times, and I just really did not like these shimmers. So I feel bad that I got this in PR. And I was like, yeah, I've heard mostly good things about this brand. Let's try it. And I did not like that. The other fail was the Sakura palette that they sent me. And this is trying to dupe Natasha Denona. And this made me want to buy the real Natasha Denona palette more, because I don't have Retro Glam from Natasha. It's one of two MIDI palettes. I don't have Retro Glam, and I don't have Xenon. I want both. I just don't want to pay full price for both. So just waiting for that. The mattes in this were fine. Again, they're a different formula than this. They're definitely trying to mimic Natasha Denona's mattes, and I just don't think they're fine. But again, it's the shimmers in here that I don't like. So I did ask friends like Steven and stuff who have Retro Glam, and I asked them to compare, like, swatch the shimmers and compare them to Bronze Glam, like some of the other palettes from Natasha, to tell me like, okay, these shimmers look like and feel like this other shimmer. So I can kind of compare the formulas since I don't have the original. And so I did. They said, okay, this one is the same. It feels very similar to the formula of this shadow and Glam, and this one feels very similar to this shadow and Glam. And so I did swatch comparisons, and these are just not as shiny, not as creamy, not as smooth. These, again, feel like ColourPop shimmers, where they're kind of dry in a not good way. Like ColourPop duochromes, where they're trying to make it a duochrome, but then it ends up just being kind of dry and dull, not really reflective, not really shifty. You know, it's that kind of vibe where it's just like, they're not bad. And I like a satin shimmer. I wear satin shimmers all the time. So it's not that they're just a satin, it's that they're just not a very good satin. And shimmers, I hear, are easier to do than mattes, so that's sad. I think instead of trying to dupe the formulas of those brands, they should just try to perfect their own formula and then dupe color stories is what I would do, personally, but I don't think I would own a dupe brand myself anyway. But these are gonna be passed off to someone who might enjoy them more and is less picky about their shimmers than I am. So these are being decluttered. If Alter Ego sees this, thank you for sending them. I'm sorry I didn't like them. So So let's move on to things that I did like. I'm gonna group these in kind of categories or groups. So like there's some stuff where I tried multiple things from one brand. We'll see how I go. So the first thing I wanna do is skincare though. So in the last month or so, a month and a half, I did add a couple things and change a couple things to my skincare. And I've really liked what they've done. Skincare is one of those things that's highly personable, highly subjectable, like what your skin needs are, your skin tone, your skin sensitivities, all of that, what you want your skin care to do. That's all very personal. So I don't like to make blanket statements, but these have been working really well for me. Wow, I can't talk. I do have kind of normal skin. I'm not very dry, but I'm not really oily. My nose gets oily, like my forehead doesn't. But so it's not even like my whole T-zone, it's just my nose. And my eyelids are oily, so I have to use a primer with eyeshadow, but like that's about it. Everything else is kind of balanced. I don't really like the term normal. But I have added 3 things to my skincare. The first one is this toner. This is an essence. So I do have another toner I like. It's the rice toner from, I forget the name of it. I've gone through like 4 bottles. I love it. This is an essence, so it's a little thicker. This is supposed to be a dupe for SK2. I've wanted to try SK2 forever. I've heard great things about it. And the main ingredient of it is fermented rice extract. And like having all of those amino acids and proteins and minerals and things from that is what is the benefit of it. And this has the same active ingredient. So this is from CosRX, made in Korea. This is the same, like if you look at the ingredients list, it's the same primary ingredient. And I really like this. This is supposed to help nourish and hydrate the skin and over time make your skin more radiant and clear. And I do think it is helping with that. I think this is one of those things. I mentioned I have a couple things that are helping with some of my redness, some of my like razor burn and acne that I get down here. This is a later edition, but it's helping. And I think my skin just looks better when I use this. A couple days I didn't use it and I was like, nope, I really like the way my skin looks. So I've been using this a lot and I will rebuy this when it's empty. I will have everything linked down below with affiliate links like normal. There's no pressure to buy anything, but if you do use one of my links, I do thank you a lot. You know, I get a small commission for those, but those build up and that really helps me, be able to buy the stuff that I do review. So the other 2 products, one is from Bloomeffects and one is another Korean product. So this was sent to me by Bloomeffects. They did send me this in PR and I do have a discount code with them. For getting it off the top of my head, I think it might just be Colin, but I'll have it on the screen here. I think it saves 20%, 15%, I don't know. But this is their vitamin C oil and I have been loving this. So they say to use like a full dropper. You do not need that. I need like 3 drops. If you have dry skin, you might want more, but this has 20% vitamin C, but it's a more stable version of vitamin C. And it has some other ingredients in it. It has their like special tulip extract in it. And I love this. I noticed I used it the first night and the next morning I woke up and my skin just looked healthier. I had like a bit of a glow to it. I looked a little bit like, it just looked nice and bright and glowy. And I don't use this every day. I use it every couple days. I use a couple drops at the end of my skincare, and because this is supposed to be the last routine, I use like 3 drops, really like it. It's really helped with, it is one of the things that I immediately noticed helping with a lot of the dark spots and like redness and stuff I get down here. And I think having that extra hydration and stuff is also helping prevent some of the razor burn that I get. So I have been loving this and I'm very thankful they sent this to me, and now I want to buy everything else from the line and try it. So the other thing, this is Snail Bee High Content Essence. This is something my best friend bought and didn't notice a difference on. So she bought this because it's got the snail secretion that like people are all about. And then it also has bee venom and peptides. And she said she didn't notice a difference with this, but I noticed like adding this kind of did what this is doing. I use this every day though, where it's adding a nice hydration. It's helping with my redness, with my breakouts, with my acne. I haven't had as much like cystic acne around my chin like I sometimes get. This razor burn and stuff that I tend to cover up with concealer is doing much better. Just all around really happy that I added this to my routine. So I need to ask her where she bought it, because when it's gone, I'm gonna need to buy another one. And then I have two fragrances I wanna mention. One of these I've mentioned before, but I bought a full-size bottle, and that is Commodity Moss. I don't think I've talked about this since I bought the full size. I did get like a travel size version of this from Scentbird to try because I'd wanted to, and fell in love with it. And they were having a Black Friday sale, and so I bought this, and I have zero regrets. This is my go-to daily fragrance now. I still really like Steamed Rainbow. Some of my other fragrances are more specific and a little more summery for me. Like they're a little more earthy, and I want to wear them in the summer more. This is a good all year round everyday fragrance for me. It's herbal and fresh and bright, but not like too much so. It definitely fits the name of Moss. I really love it. My partner uses it a lot too. We've already starting to make a dent in this, but this will last a long time, so I'm happy I bought that. And then the other thing is a new brand. I don't think they're a fairly new brand. I think they just had an anniversary, either their first or second, but they're also a new brand to me, and it is Our Side. So they are handmade perfumes made in the Bronx. As soon as I saw like the descriptions and the company stuff, I was excited, and I actually reached out to them and asked if I could try something. They are also Black-owned brand, which is great, and they said yes, and they sent me actually 2 of their discovery kits, which I'm not mad about because I've already used most of the first one. So they have 3 fragrances, and you can buy them as like a bigger size or a small roller ball. And I'm obsessed with one, really love the second one, and then the other one's just not for me, but I could see why people would like it. So they've got Dusk, Moon Dust, and Nostalgia. So Moon Dust is my favorite. I've used the first of these little bottles all the way up, so I'm happy to have a second one, and I definitely want a full-size bottle of this. Let me pull up what the notes are supposed to be. So the 2 options are a 50 ml spray bottle, which is half the size of this. It's the size of my DS and Durga ones, which is $196. And then for $79, you can get a 10 ml rollerball version if you prefer a rollerball. So this one, I'll read the fragrance notes and you'll understand why I like it. So this is described as fresh, citrusy, and earthy. So it has cedar, grapefruit, and jasmine as the top notes. Peppermint and anise is the mid notes, and then vetiver, juniper, and palo santo as the base notes. So there's this like citrus, like cedar, grapefruit, fresh citrus smell when you first get it, and then then you kind of get that anise, peppermint, which I love, and then it dries down to that like palo santo, juniper. Love palo santo, love the cedar, like it's all of my favorite scents put together. Really love this. I got this when my best friend and her husband were over, and he smelled it and smelled it on me, and he was like, I don't want this to sound offensive, but this smells like you. It smells like something a Mexican, it smells like something a Mexican person should wear. Like it reminds him of like the smell in a shop because he's from Texas. And I was like, no, I totally get it. I love this. And also the Palo Santo, that makes sense. Like Palo Santo, the cedar, the juniper, like it's so nice. I want a full-size bottle of this. The other one I really like is not Nostalgia. It is Dusk. So let me look at what Dusk says. So Dusk, I really like, but my husband and Natasha love even more. So woody, smoky, and berries are the notes, or like the summary. So it's bergamot, grapefruit, fig, berries, and then middle notes of bay, cedar, lily, and musk, and then base notes of patchouli, frankincense, vetiver, and amber. So it's it's woody, which I like, and it does have a little bit of sweetness from the berries without being like sweet. I don't like any kind of gourmand. I don't like any kind of like sweet scent. Hate them. And this has just enough to balance it out, which I think is just really well done. And then it has that smokiness without being too smoky, where like my husband has some fragrances, like there's one from Dias and Durga that he has that it smells really great on him, but it's way too smoky for me to wear. I like this one still. And I would buy a bottle of that, but I want the other one first. And then the last one is Nostalgia, which Natasha was excited about. But this one is described as floral, creamy, and woody. Don't really love most florals, and I don't like anything creamy generally. Wow, I have the hiccups. Okay. So this is top notes of mint, grapefruit, jasmine, violet, and mimosa. I do like violet. I like grapefruit. I like all of those scents individually. Middle notes, vanilla. That's where you lose me. Ylang ylang and cedar. And then bottom notes of balsam, amber, and patchouli. So this is interesting. It does have a bit of creaminess and a bit too much, and a bit of sweetness, but I really get the vanilla. I'm just really sensitive to vanilla in fragrances. So this is an automatic no for me, but I do think if you like vanilla and you like a little bit of earthiness to it, I think you'd really like this. I just don't like vanilla in my fragrances at all. So it's a no for me, but really happy with these in general. Really want to get full-size bottles now. These are just really beautifully curated scents, really interesting scents. So highly recommend checking them out. I will have them linked down below. And I like that they have a little discovery set. Okay, so on to makeup. I really enjoy all of these, and I'll talk about why and what I like about them as we go through. I do have a bunch of stuff here from Victoria Beckham. So over the last few months is when I really bought a bunch. I bought a bunch during her Black Friday sale. So I had tried a product, one of the eyeliners before then. And so I bought a bunch. I bought a handful of things on Black Friday, and then I really loved it. So then I did a second order for a couple more things. So there's a bunch of Victoria Beckham here. But let's go. Oh, very loud bus outside. But let's do Complexion first. So I didn't try this for the first time, but I finally bought it. And that's the Lisa Eldridge foundation. I bought this in the last few months. I had been hemming and hawing buying it for a long time, but I finally caved and bought it. I really, really love it. I have shade 16. Part of the reason I held off was because I was torn between 16 and 17 because they both work. But 16 is really lovely. Really enjoy it. I think it's going to be a year-round kind of shade. Like in the summer, I will need more bronzer, or I might need a darker shade. But for most of the year, this is pretty good. So really happy with this. It's very much one of those foundations that does what you want it to do. So if I want it to be more glowy, I will use a more glowy primer underneath. If I want it more matte, I will use a more matte primer. I think my favorite way to use this is with the Surratt primer, which is kind of a soft matte focus, which is also my kind of favorite skin, like that healthy glow without being greasy satin look. So really happy I finally have this. This will be no surprise, but the House Labs concealer came out at the end of the year, and I'm obsessed with it. This one is basically dead, and I already have a backup. It is my new favorite concealer. I did get sent the Surratt concealer as well, and I did do a full video about all of my Surratt stuff a while ago. Do really like that concealer, but I think, and I still really like my Kosas concealer, but I think this trumps every concealer I've ever used. This is my favorite. It's thick, so the texture-wise, it's like very thick, but it just kind of melts in and blends, and it adds a nice blur. It just looks good. It is what I have on today. I just love this so much. I really like the House Labs foundation, although it's not my favorite foundation anymore, but that is my favorite concealer. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of go in the order of the products as I would use them. So next would be contour if I'm using it. Victoria Beckham. I also have the Milk Makeup Contour, and I do think that is a little bit cooler and a really nice formula, but the packaging's a pain. I know a lot of people had issues with the packaging of that one. I didn't the first time, but then it broke and I couldn't twist it up. So then I exchanged it and got another one, and then it stuck to the cap a bunch. Just, it's not as easy to use. This has a easier to use formula and mechanism, and I really like the color. I have the shade Sandstone, I believe. Yeah, and it's also the color Victoria Beckham wears. If you're a little bit lighter than me, she still uses it too. It's just a really nice contour shade. It's not too cool, but it's not too warm that it's actual bronzer. And then like having the little stylus, it's just so easy to draw on where you want it, blend it with your fingers or a brush. It's really expensive for what you get, but I have zero regrets, and I will repurchase this. So, and then next I would do bronzer. I have two things here. So the Victoria Beckham bronzer, I got shade 3. This is expensive. It's like $60. Not the worst bronzer I've seen out there, but it is refillable, and the refill is like $40, and I, because of the sale, paid $40, and I am very happy with it. So it's got 2 tones. One is a little bit more golden and a little warmer. One is a little bit more neutral. So she says this is to even out your skin tone, like add a little bit of warmth, but like very natural. And this is to add a little bit more like actual warmth and sculpt. I enjoy both. It's not what I use today, but it is what I've been using in almost every video. I just can't stop using this. I used the House Labs today. This is just a really lovely formula, and it is called a bronzing brick, and it feels like a brick. Like, this is hefty. I did buy the Ismea, the controversial Ismea lipstick recently, and that's like twice as heavy as this, but this is really heavy. And then the other like contour bronzer thing that I have is from Florasis. So they sent me PR, not just the stuff that I tried today, but like they sent me some stuff a couple months ago. And one of them was this palette. This is a face palette. First off, gorgeous. This Phoenix, it's just the prettiest packaging I've seen. So this has a bronzer, a highlighting powder, a blush, and a highlight. This is like a brightening powder. This is more of a contour on me, so more of a powder contour, but it is really nice, and it does work really well. And it does work well on the eyes too, to kind of contour the eyes, so you can use this as an eyeshadow palette as well, especially because this is a really bright highlight. This powder works really well on my skin tone because it's got a bit of a yellow to it, so it just works really lovely. And this is a nice kind of bricky blush. Really happy they sent me these because I've been wanting to try them forever, and I really like this. Okay, so we've got some blushes here. I've used all of these on camera a lot. These will be no surprise. So the first is RMS. I don't know if I mentioned this in the video before, but I have used it on camera and I've used it off camera a lot. This is the shade Maiden's Blush. I finally picked up them to try it. Really like this. It looks kind of cool and rosy, but it looks just very natural on the skin with a bit of a glow. So especially like if I'm not wearing makeup or I'm just wearing a little bit of concealer, this is a good kind of blush for that. It's just like an effortless, natural look. Really like this. I believe these are refillable as well, so you can pop it out. Yeah, this is just a really lovely formula. I get the hype. And then I have 2 of the ones from Khaki, which this one you see me use all the time. This is constantly in my description box. And the other one that's constantly there is this Cheeky Posh in Playground from Victoria Beckham. So this is a stick blush. It's kind of a beige, but like not just beige. It's just a really pretty color. I can blend it with my fingers, I can blend it with a brush. It's again a shade that I use constantly, especially on no makeup days, or like literally like I'm not wearing makeup, but I somehow still want a little bit of this. Maybe a tiny bit of concealer in this. Just a really beautiful shade. I know Tom doesn't love this, and they compared it to the Westman Atelier. I've not tried those, but I really like this and want another color. There's another one that I almost bought. I think it's Mini Skirt, and I almost bought it while she was still having a sale. That's how much I like this. It's just like, if I have to think of a blush, I have a lot of blushes, but that and Macchiato are like just the 2 I want to use every day. And then these are Khaki's collab with Finding Ferdinand. They are doing a second one, she said in a video, or has said in videos. I don't know. when that's coming out, obviously. But excited to see, because those are going to be more cool toned. This was the Summer Abroad collection. I took a long time for me to get this because I went to buy it, waited, it sold out, and so I had to do the pre-order. And there was a bit of a mess with the launch, but they've apologized. I just don't think Finding Ferdinand was used to or expecting that much hype and that much order volume. So this is the shade Spritz. Really like this. I've used this a handful of times, but I feel like it's going to be a go-to summer for me. But the one that I want to use every day, and you can tell I've used it a lot, is Macchiato. This is the darkest of the beige blushes, and it's just a perfect neutral, natural kind of look for me. I use it almost every day. Like I have to force myself to grab something else. Then I've got a handful of highlighters here. So I finally bought the Lisa Eldridge highlighter. I've talked about this on camera. I really like it. I've made a big dent in it already. It's the perfect liquid glow from within. Kind of like my Work Glow Lust, but this sets more than that does. And this is just a really beautiful golden shade. Really love this. And then I have the Victoria Beckham one and the Violet FR one. So this one I got in PR. This one I got as a gift. It went from Homeless Tom to Cam / Clove Room to me. And I really like it. So this is the Violet FR one. It's just a nice, you know, kind of universal glowy balm highlighter. You can wear it on your face, your lips, all of that. Same with the Victoria Beckham. I'll put them next to each other. The Victoria Beckham one is a little more sheer. So if you thought it was too sheer, you might like, so you can see here's the Victoria Beckham. It's just like that wet sheen. And then the Violet has a little bit more body to it. I really like both of these. This also works well as a lip gloss. I don't find them too balmy. I just really like both. I don't know if I like this enough to buy the golden one, but I do want to try the golden one. So we'll see. And then I got one from RMS. So this is their Hydra Dew Luminizer. So this is Prosecco Fizz. And it's just like a golden champagne, but it's really sheer. So this is like the powder version of like this or this. Like it's a very sheer glow from within. I don't think you can keep adding stuff and it's never gonna look like highlighter, which I actually like. I like a glow from within. I think it's very natural, very beautiful. But if you want like highlight, it's just not that. But for those of us that just want to have like a glow, perfect. And it is pretty universal. It looks okay even on my very fair-skinned husband. I haven't tried it on a darker skin tone, obviously, but my husband's a redhead and even they could probably get away with this. So it's, you know, universal is a hard claim to make, but it's pretty nice and I think fairly universal. Okay, so normally I would do eyeshadow first technically, but we'll do lips and then eyeshadow. So for lips, I've talked about all of these things multiple times, but I really like them. So first we've got the lipstick that Florasis sent me. So this is the one that they just sent me. It's a liquid lipstick, but they also sent me one of their bullets. It's the most over-the-top packaging ever. Really love it. It's one of those, so you press here and it pops out. And it's just this really pretty brick red shade. I've worn it a bunch. It's really comfortable. Really like this. Then also in PR, I got a bunch of lipsticks from Fantasy Cosmetica from their holiday collection. This is the Lost Library collection. I grabbed the shade Hidden. Really good, kind of what I'm wearing now kind of shade. This is a really comfortable cream formula and it's a really affordable price. And the packaging is really cute. It's got a little magnet. The magnet is not as strong as I would like. I think this might pop off in my bag if I wasn't careful, but I keep my lipsticks in their own little bag. So they're all kind of contained and tight. It's not gonna fly around, but it's not the strongest magnet compared to some other ones. The last PR lip thing I got was this. This is one of the, pinch myself. This is one of the Bisou bombs from Violet FR. They sent me 2 of them and I really enjoy these. I've talked about them on the channel. I think this with a brown, this bright red. It's very sheer, very comfortable, kind of like, are your lips just naturally that smooth and tinted kind of product. And this with the YSL Candy Glaze in Scenic Brown over it, favorite lip combo. Okay, so almost done with lips, and then eyeshadow. So in lips, I also got a gift. This is a Gucci lip from Cam. I've used this in a couple videos and I've had it tagged below. This is their Rouge Brilliant. I feel it doesn't say the name here, but it is like their shiny hydrating lipstick. Comes in this little thing. This is in Lucy Dark Orange. Cam picked the perfect shade for me. I love this. I looked at other ones and I kind of want the brown one, but I'm just really happy with this and very grateful to get that as a present from a friend. I just touched the highlighters. That feels weird. Okay, and then I've got the products that I bought for my lips, which is mostly Victoria Beckham. So I bought 2 of her lip liners. I bought one, really liked it, and then when I did another order, I bought another one. So I have shades 2 and 4. So 2 is a really nice kind of beige nude. They're a pencil formula. They're a little drier. They're kind of like the Makeup Forever. They're creamy, but they're not too creamy, and they just last all day and work really well. And then I got shade 4, which is a little darker and I just a little like rosier versus like rose brown versus beige. And these are just really great. They live in my bag. I take them to work with me every day. If I use them or not, they're just there. Really love them. And then I bought 2 of her lip glosses. So the first is Poolside. I've talked about this ad nauseum on the channel. It's like the perfect nude brown shade for me. I already have backups of this because this one is like, you know, I've used most of it. And then I bought a Purtivo, which is really beautiful, kind of rosy shade. I just love these. I think it's my new favorite lip gloss formula. And I bought 2 of the Isabella lips. So these are more of a tinted lip balm. I bought the shade Follower and the shade Retrograde. Follower is a nice tinted, like sheer brown. They have vitamin E in them. They are a little sparkly, but like not glittery. Just really beautiful formula. And now I can put them in my lipstick container because these are the refills. So I just pull the base off and then I can put the other, like the red lipstick that came in this cap and base. So I really like that you can also just buy these if you didn't want the expensive phallic lipstick. And then Retrograde is just a really beautiful purple. I almost didn't buy the Hermes lipstick with my Christmas money because of this purple, but they are very different and I'm very happy I bought. And then last, but certainly not least, is eyeshadow. So I will just go through this pretty quickly. There's not that much here, thankfully. So first, Florasis sent me one of their eyeshadow palettes. I did a video on this. Gorgeous packaging. Again, I think they have just outstanding packaging. Formula is very beautiful. So very luxe feeling, very much feels like a luxury formula where it's pigmented but not too pigmented and blends really nicely. And then the shimmers, like you've got like some soft champagnes and then some more sparkly pops of color. Really beautiful. I think totally worth it. Really happy to finally try this, and I want to try more eyeshadow. I mean, they just sent me another one, but like they have some other stuff I want to try. I've talked about this on the channel before. I love the Moon Dust singles. I have 4 of them, and then so I bought the Moon Dust palette. This was an ordeal to get. Every time I tried to buy it, it was out of stock, or it was in my cart and I was checking out and then it was out of stock. But I finally got it and I really like it. I think this is, I want Urban Decay to do more of this kind of stuff. Star Cowgirl is a really nice pale shade, but it's more yellow, so it works better for me than like the icy white ones. Cosmic Space Dust is just a really beautiful brown without being as dark as Lithium. I just think this is great, and I think these should be permanent things in their line. Okay, so I've got 2 single shadows, one Victoria Beckham. So I had already tried Velvet. That was the other thing I tried in my first order, but I finally bought Mink and Honey. Honey is a really nice soft honey brown bronze shade, and then Mink is the one that is just, it's truly special. I've swatched it on camera. It's 100% worth the reputation, the hype, and the money. I love this. This is, I think, my favorite like single shadow. It's got kind of a warmish base, and then it's got this like smoky, cool toned sparkle to it. It's the perfect one and done. I wear it for the holidays, like Christmas parties and stuff. I love it. And then I did get 3 of the Surratt Soufflé shadows in PR. I grabbed the green one here. I've talked about these a bunch on the channel. I like these a lot. They're a weird formula. They feel wet and like squishy, and not in like a ColourPop way, like not like a Jelly Munch thing. Like this is like a firmer, souffled, squishy, wet feeling. They're water-based, but they're really long wearing, even without primer. Like they don't rub away. You can do like a sheer wash one and done. You can build it up. They're just really interesting, and they sent me 3 shades, and I think there's 6 total, and I want to try 1 or 2 of the other ones because they're just really cool. Okay, so last couple things. Along with the Lost Library lipstick, they sent me a candle, which is over there. I burned half of it already, and they're singles. So this is like a little palette of singles. You can buy them as this or alone. I do have a code with Fantasy Cosmetica. It's Bones, saves you 10%. It is affiliated. These are really beautiful holographic shades. They're 2 multichromes, 2 like more duochrome-y kind of shades. They're very smooth, very reflective. I have a video on these. I have a little reel on them. I think they're just really special and really cool. I have a couple more holographic shades now, and you can like see that texture more. I think if you wanted like the smoothness, but with the hint of holographic, this is really beautiful. Yeah, go check out that video if you're interested, because these are really special. And they are limited editions, so once they're gone, I think they're gone for good. Not that that's a pressure to buy it, but like, you know, you have to be aware of that stuff. And then I've got a couple palettes here. So I bought all 3 palettes from I'm Cosmetics. They did have a great Black Friday sale. So these are normally $80, $120, $120, and I paid $150 for all 3. Could not pass that up. I've been wanting them for a while. And then I bought 2 Viseart palettes. So this is the Violette Vespertine. I do have a video on these. Really beautiful, cool toned, more mauve-y palette. And then the Cashmere Charmeuse is the one that I've used the most because it's like a rosy taupe neutral. Just a go-to palette for me. Really love these, really love the Viseart formula. I have like 6 palettes from them now that are this size. Great. And then I'm, these are just really special. So you've got an all matte palette and then 2 all shimmer palettes. The shimmers are either neutral or colorful. You get a lot of formulas, and their formulas are like, the mattes are like a little less pigmented than Viseart, but still really buildable and really lovely to use. And then the shimmers are, I think, more special than the Viseart. Like there's more sparkle to them. There's more intrigue. So this is the neutral one. So you can see you've got like a satin shade, a more metallic shimmer, and then like a sparkly one. And I like that they get a little darker. They're really beautiful on the eyes. They're not as sparkly as this, and they're not, you know, as shifty and sparkly as this. But for every day, when you want like an elegant sparkle, they're perfect. And then the colorful ones, you've got your iridescent shades, and then like more, these are a little more satin down here, and these are a little more chromy, sparkly. Just really beautiful, really lovely formulas. I want to try more from I'm now. So yeah, that is everything. This was a little longer than I thought it would be, but I talk a lot. So let me know in the comments below what you think of everything. Have you tried any of this? What are your thoughts? I love to hear them in the comments and talk to you. As always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next video.